Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. If you're watching this is AC 1.1. So this is where we're going to do a little bit more of housekeeping. We make AC 1.1 always completely free so that you're able to see it. But in this, we're going to break down the unit a little bit more and we're going to just sort of tell you how this works. Now, 5HR03 as a unit, they say about this unit focuses on how internal, external business factors influence reward strategies, about policy, financial drivers, organizations, the impact of reward costs in rewarding performance. And what you'll learn is about the principles of reward, its importance to culture and performance management, how policies and practice are implemented. You will explain how contingent rewards impact individual, team, and organizational performance. All different types of benefit and recognition schemes offered by organizations. You will evaluate the most appropriate ways in which data can be gathered and measured to develop insight from benchmarking data. Additionally, you will explain legislative requirements that impact reward practice. So nearly got through that brilliantly, but fumbled it on the 1 yard line. Anyway, that's what we're going to look in this unit, but that's not what we're going to do on Bitesize. What we're going to do in CIPD Bitesize is we're going to break down the questions on their assessment grading criteria and on the elements that are important there. So let's start off with AC 1.1, which is explain the principles of reward and its importance to organizational culture and performance. Now, I should point out at this moment, 5HR03 is made up of 10 assessment criteria. And within those 10 assessment criteria, you have a total of 3,900 words to answer all 10 questions. So that is 390 words per question. And so what we're going to say is we're going to say, I have 390 words to answer every single one of these questions. So if you're studying this bite size and you're attacking this question, we're going to learn about this question. We're going to write our 390 words about this question. And then we're going to move on. And we're going to move on to AC 1.2, etc., etc., etc. And then we're going to pass this unit and everything's going to be peachy. But the first thing that we always do on CIPD Bitesize is we break down the question into its component parts. And AC 1.1 is a bit of a bigger question. So explain the principles of reward, its importance to organizational culture and performance management. Now, you'll hear me say this multiple times within Bitesize. Look out for the cheeky S, and the cheeky S is already in plain sight there. Explain the principles. A principle would be singular, principles would be multiple. Therefore, to pass this question, you have to give multiple. The cheeky S is always in play when it comes to CIPD. They love a cheeky S. So what we're going to do next in CIPD Bitesize is we're going to take this AC 1.1 and we're going to break it into action points. And action points is how we break down the question and then how we attack the question from there. So action point 1, explain the principles, multiple, S. You see there in study tips, when a word ends in S, it's looking for multiple examples. Explain the principles of reward. Explain why the principles of reward are important to organizational culture. Explain why the principles of reward are important to performance management. Explain it from a verb perspective is to make something clear to understand by describing or giving information about it. So how are we going to attack this? Well, the top left-hand corner of your page, you're going to write AC 1.1 in big letters because that's what CIPD want to see. They want to see that you're putting the title of the assessment in there. So us as markers, moderators, we know this is what you're answering. So we pull up our grading sheet and we go, okay, explain the principles of reward, and then we can match it off there. Then what you're going to do is a subheading, and it might be explain, principles of reward. That might be a subheading, and then you explain more than one principle of reward. But you can explain the principles because of the cheeky S that's in there within the 390 words that you've got for that. So you might give yourself 200 words for action point 1. Action point 2, explain why the principles of reward, so what you've explained in the principles, are important to organizational culture. Ensure you've got references, ensure you've got citations. This is not your opinion. This is fact that is evidenced by external sources and external information. Explain why the principles of reward are important to performance management. Again, external references, citations, connecting it back. This is where I've talked a lot about people where they use quotations and stuff like that. Quotations are not explaining the principles, they're a quote. They don't necessarily address the question. A lot of the time, quote is just it's some nice words. Someone said something, but it doesn't address the question. You have been asked to explain the principles of reward and its importance to organizational culture and performance management. You can do that without quotes. What you can do is evidence, stats, data. Principles of reward are important to organizational culture. This was found by this survey that was done here that showed that reward is important to organizational performance because organization X improved performance by Y. Now, again, you might need to you've got to do a little bit more than that, but that's the principle of the answer. That's the approach that you need to take when coming together with that answer. So think about how you want to form it, but use subheadings. So subheading is a distinct summary of the paragraph below. So when you put your subheadings in there, what the marker will do first is it will read the subheadings and they'll go, okay, from the cursory scan, this looks like it is. Let me see if they've got all the elements in there. Principles, yep, they've got the plural. They're not falling for the cheeky S. They've connected it to organizational culture. They've connected it to performance management. They have addressed all elements of this. So at the very least, it's a low pass. How good your answer is, how many references and citations and things like that you've got are important as well. So that's how I would approach this question. Now, what we also do is we recommend some reading. So here are some recommended readings to support you in terms of getting this answer. And you will hear me say this an awful lot throughout all these videos, and you're probably sick of me saying it. In fact, with me, if you've done some of the other units before you've got here, you're probably already saying it in your head. CIPD love CIPD. So if you're going to reference anybody, reference CIPD. So this is why in our recommended resource, we've got the CIPD fact sheet in reward, CIPD fact sheet strategic and total reward, and CIPD fact sheet reward and introduction. CIPD love CIPD. So always ensure that you reference CIPD where you can, because what they're wanting is you to be a representation of the CIPD profession, CIPD base, the CIPD research, the CIPD evidence, the CIPD everything. So let's reference them whilst we can. And these are the things. Now, if you're studying with us, you'll find it in the VLE. It's all there. It's pretty much after this video, it'll be the next one, the next one, and the next one. So everything that you need to be there. But again, don't lose sight of the question. You're explaining the principles of reward and its importance to organizational culture and performance management. It's so easy when you start to click through some of these things to start digging off into, oh, it's talking here about job evaluation or reward. Principles of reward, organizational culture, performance management. Don't forget the question. Plan out your answer, and then again, subheadings, action points, 3 action points, 400 words maximum. You can go. CIPD policy is you can go 10% over, 10% under of the total word count, but if you break it by 1 either side, instantaneous refer. So, and you don't want that. You want to pass. We're here to get the passes. We're here to get you through. So there you go. Now, one of the things that we do to try and help you contextualize some of the qualification or contextualize the questions is we try to give you a hypothetical scenario that sort of helps you understand the question and how to approach it and what sort of answer would be if it wasn't an academic answer. So, a bit like an analogy. So in this one, imagine a sports team. Basketball, it seems. To win, they need their players to be motivated and to be working towards the same goal. Rewards are like teams' trophies and bonuses. So here's how they function, right? So you've got your principles, which align with the game plan. Just like trophies celebrate winning plays, rewards, companies should recognize behaviors that contribute to the overall strategy, fairness and consistency. If only the star player gets rewarded, these other teammates might lose motivation. Rewards should be given fairly and consistently based on performance. Transparency, the team need to know how to win games. Similarly, employees need to be clearly communicated about what behaviors are rewarded. And then you need to meet the players' preferences. Some athletes might love a big trophy, while others might want cash bonuses. Companies should consider what motivates their workforce and offer varied rewards. So often it's easy to just go money, 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 money. But a lot of people are motivated by praise. A lot of people are motivated by um, recognition. A lot of people are motivated in different ways. Not everything comes down to money when it comes to reward. And if there's one thing that's going to see you through this reward module, it's money isn't everything. Money is important. Money gives you the freedom to do a lot of things as a human, but it's not everything when it comes to recognition and reward. Now, the importance, again, if we go back to the sports team, if we think about the importance when players are recognized for their efforts, they're more likely to keep pushing for victory. Rewards motivate employees to perform better. Teamwork and culture, a team that celebrates together builds a strong culture. Rewards can create positive work environments where everyone feels valued. And performance, a motivated team performs better. Effective rewards can lead to increased productivity and achievement goals. Rewards shouldn't be all about just they need to give something. They're there to motivate. They're not there as an expectation. And too many organizations I've worked for in the past where it's like, oh, everyone gets a bonus at Christmas. And then if you don't get it, everyone's disappointed, but no one feels like they've earned it. It's just an expectation. And rewards shouldn't be an expectation. They should be a reward. By following principles, rewards become more powerful. They shape winning teams, just like a well-designed reward system can create a high-performing organization. What you need to be careful of is not just throwing things and going, well, hopefully it works. And that's kind of the principles of it. So take this, take this as you go through the rest of the units and stuff like that. The principles are the core factor. And performance is the core factor that you really need to be thinking about. Well, why am I doing this, and how am I going to achieve these goals? Absolutely best of luck this unit, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.